love stories you'll ever see in scripture is in the book of Ruth. We know this story, right? We know how it goes and how it comes and what God does in the end with Ruth and Boaz, and it's absolutely beautiful. But the part of the story that absolutely, truly amazes me and has captured my attention for a long time is the untold part of the story. It's in Ruth chapter 1, verse 16, right after Naomi tells Orpah and Ruth that she can't bear them another son. They've all lost their spouses. Naomi's lost 2 sons and a husband. Ruth and Orpah have each lost a spouse and the rest of their in-law family, so to speak. And Naomi looks at them and says, I can't birth you other sons. Go back to your homeland and start your life over. And Orpah says, hey, cool, I'm out. And she goes and does it. And Ruth stops, and this is where Ruth 1:16 comes in. She says, no, where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your land will be my land. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. And here's the thing that makes that scripture so powerful is everything that happened before it. That shows us that Naomi and Elimelech were steadfast people of faith, that they lived out their relationship and their belief in who God was, that they had sacrifices and times and things that they did as a family, that it was normal to her, it was something she understood. It wasn't necessarily something that she had committed her life to yet up until that point, but she had seen it, she had seen the dedication, and she had seen the result of the Lord's hand over them, even in the midst of this moment. So while Naomi is in absolute and completely understandable turmoil, Ruth says, I'm going to be steadfast for you because I have seen what your steadfastness has done over the years of our lives together. And off they go. And then this love story takes place. A love story of a daughter-in-law who is committed and dedicated and loyal to her mother-in-law. And then the story of Ruth and Boaz. And in the end, Naomi's faith is resolved to a place of good standing, a place of strength. She goes from renaming herself Mara, that means bitter, back to Naomi, and she celebrates the faithfulness of God. Sometimes we go through rough days and we need a steadfast person, not to carry our faith, but to hold our faith anchored even while we are in turmoil. I don't know about you, but I've gone through some turmoil situations in my life, and those encouraging people that come alongside of you and remind you of the goodness of God are not there to put a thorn in your side while you're going through the storm. They're there to remind you of the light that is in the darkness, and that His light will shine through the dark season that you're in, and you can lean on them as you work your way through. You don't stay in the storm. You don't stay in the turmoil, you work through it. So I pray that you are that steadfast person for someone, and that if you're in a season that you need a steadfast person, you find them and lean on them and remember and remind yourself that your faith can be carried through stability. But it was Naomi's stability that gave Ruth the opportunity to grab a hold of. And once Ruth could grab a hold of that opportunity, she could walk it out to give Naomi her stability of faith back. I encourage you today, you are being watched, you are being seen in a good way. Live out your life according to what God has called you to do, and He will use you in a mighty way.